You've definitely seen the Timex Weekender. It's clean, it's classic, and it has its own unique charm. It's a watch that looks just as good with jeans as it does with a button down. But after wearing it for a week, something interesting started to happen for me. The things that I didn't think mattered, they started to, because I think the Weekender might be one of the best beginner watches that you'll ever actually outgrow. I think many collectors, if they were to pick up a Weekender, they would expect it to be a throwaway piece. And for a lot of other people, this is just a cheap, easy watch that matches a bunch of different outfits. But whether you're wearing it on a lazy Sunday or you're working in the yard, I really started to notice some special things about this watch that are incredible. For me, I actually received 2 Weekenders as gifts from a friend. Now, over time, I found myself reaching for them a lot more than I expected, even when I wasn't just dressing down. And it really didn't make sense to me at first. I have plenty of nicer watches, whether it be mechanical, whether it just be better specs, more prestigious. But the Weekender, it kind of brought me back to my why I fell in love with watches in the first place. Welcome back to Wrist and Wound, where we review watches not just by their specs, but their stories, their soul, and their connection to life. So today we're going to be breaking down the Timex Weekender, and I'm going to be using the 10S review format. We're going to cover the story, the specs, the style, similarity, strap, subdial, shine, shortcomings, sentiments, and finally, the so what. So let's get into it. Beginning with the story. Now, the Weekender doesn't come from a Swiss house or a high horology bloodline. It comes from Waterbury, Connecticut, from Timex, a brand that's made rugged, affordable watches since the 1800s, 1854 to be precise. And in many ways, the Weekender is its modern heartbeat. It's simple, it's durable, and it's accessible. And that's what I loved about it. It reminded me that watches really don't have to be precious to be meaningful. Sometimes a watch that costs under $100, under $75, and really on eBay, you can probably find them for under $30. Those are the kind of watches that cost you nothing to love, but can truly mean everything. Next, let's get into the specs. Now, there are a lot of different models of the Weekender. And right now, we're gonna be talking about the 37mm, but there's 40s, there's smaller, there's kids ones as well. My daughter has one. But find the size that fits you, but a lot of these aspects are gonna apply to all of them. So the thickness is gonna come in at 10mm. The lug widths are gonna be ranging from 18mm to 20mm, depending on which size you got. The movement is gonna be quartz. The crystal is gonna be mineral, and the water resistance is gonna be 50 meters, which is a little bit of a con, but we'll talk a little bit more about that in the shortcomings section. The case is typically gonna be low-end brass, but there are some other different colors. My wife has a rose gold one as well. And then the battery is just gonna be a simple CR 2016. So something you can pick up at Walmart. Now, the weight of this watch is 60 grams with a strap. That's about the same weight as a large chicken egg, and without it, it's about 50 grams. So that's kind of like the weight of 2 AA batteries. So this is gonna be a lightweight watch, no nonsense, no filler, just a clear, reliable way to tell time. Next up, let's talk about the style of this watch. And the style here is understated. Whether I have the white dial or the black dial, it's gonna have those full air brake numerals, the 12 and 24-hour time. Now, it comes in a lot of different strapped options, and we can talk a lot more about the straps in a little bit, but you're gonna get polished case, and it's not really trying to be flashy. It's just really just a flexible watch. So whether you're running errands, you're grilling, you're heading out for brunch, I really think the Weekender really never feels out of place for anything that you're gonna do on the weekend, which is probably why they call it the Weekender. I was trying. I thought that was a good dad joke. So when we look at similarities, this watch really has some of the emotional DNA that's common with the Casio F91W. The reason why, these watches look nothing alike, but they're perfect gateway pieces. They're both incredibly affordable. They're both lightweight, easy to wear, and they're really versatile in a lot of different ways. Now, with the Casio gives you in pure functionality, I think the Weekender steps up stylistically. It gives you a nod to almost like a field watch, but a lot more casual. It's also gonna be a lot of fraction of cost of a high quality field watch. It has this way about it that kind of reminds me of like a comfort food. It's like a grilled cheese. It's simple, it's familiar, and it's surprisingly satisfying. And with all the different options, it really gives you a different way to play with it. So in this option, you see I have the black and I have the white. And they are super flexible with different styles, but they also have a lot of Snoopy editions, special editions. So you really just gotta find which one best fits what you're looking for. But let's go into the strap thing. Here's where I think the fun really begins. Now, it usually comes with a slip-through fabric strap. Those are gonna be breathable, easy to swap. And this watch is an absolute strap monster. When you realize just how easily customizable the Weekender becomes, it's really like a blank canvas. whether you have it on a leather strap, whether you have it on a NATO, whether you have it on some kind of canvas strap, whether you have it on different colors. It really can go from red to blue to green to pink to anything, to bright orange even. This watch is just so flexible. And I think that's what makes it so great. People talk about when you change a strap out, you can completely change the DNA of a watch. And this is a perfect example of just that. And speaking of straps, while this video is not sponsored, I do like to talk about products that I personally enjoy until the channel does get sponsored. But the first product that I want to talk to you about today is actually going to be straps from Strap Habit. Strap Habit makes some of the best affordable watch straps that you can find on the market. The quality is absolutely incredible. They have a lot of different versatile options. And whether you're going for a NATO, you're going for a canvas, you're going for leather, Strap Habit has something for you. And if you're a Timex fan who loves the Timex Q, the TQ18 series is absolutely incredible. They make the best bracelets, even better than Timex themselves, for that Timex Q series. So, like I said, this is unsponsored, but if you're looking for your next strap, I definitely encourage you to check out Strap Habit. They usually have sales going on their website, and they even have this thing called a mystery strap, where you can pay a lot less, but the strap is a mystery. So, let me know if you go there, let me know down below. But yeah, let's get back into the video until I get real sponsors. So next up, let's talk about the subdials. And this is really where we talk about the complications of the watch. Now, for this one, there really aren't any. You do get like a date window for certain models, but typically this is just a simple minimalistic watch. Now, there is one complication that is kind of cool, but it kind of comes with a lot of Timexes, and that's when we get into part 7 of this, is the shine. The case is, you know, a polished case. There's a lot of different colorways, but the real complication slash shine slash lume champion is going to be the Indiglo. Indiglo is truly one of the best features for watches. Affordable, high horology, anything. Like if Rolex could add Indiglo, it would truly raise it up one more bar. But this allows you to see the watch late at night. That blue glow, I think, is really awesome. And actually, there's a couple other limited edition Weekenders or just different variations that might have different colors. So go to the website, check out which one you want. But Indiglo is truly like one of the best features. It's the reason why Bill Murray rocks Timex, because Indiglo. So. Now, as amazing as the Indiglo is, the biggest shortcoming from this watch is gonna be two different things. Now, the first one's a pretty easy one. That's gonna be the mineral crystal. That's gonna scratch easy. You can fix that with Polywatch, which I have a video to teach you how to fix your watch if you're curious. Make a link there, maybe in the description. But that's not the issue that bothers me the most. The issue that bothers me the most, it's the ticking. Like, it's kind of loud. Now, if you're doing your day-to-day, you're not gonna really hear it, but if you're in a quiet room and there's no music, you will hear the background. And it can drive you a little crazy. I remember I tried to leave one of these on my nightstand before going to sleep. And yes, I immediately put it into a drawer, and I had to make sure that I never did that again. So if you like to keep your watch by your bed, or maybe you like that noise, if you want a clicking white noise sound, definitely check it out. But if you're not listening to tick tick all the time, yeah, you gotta either put this in a different room or look at a different watch. There is also one more issue with this watch, and that's gonna be the 50-meter water resistance. I mean, it can handle splashes, but it's not perfect for, you know, anything the life's gonna throw at you. But I think if you're paying this price for a watch, you don't buy this watch to be bulletproof. You buy it to be worn. And worst case, it gets messed up, it's pretty cheap to replace. So those are some of the shortcomings with the Timex Weekender. Now let's talk about some of the sentiment. You know, I think there's sometimes you buy watches for status, others you buy for craftsmanship. I think this one, I think you just buy it for a feeling of weekend mornings, of errands with the kids, of just like a simpler, slower pace. You don't really need to overthink it. You just wear it. And when you wear it, it builds its own stories. I think Timex has this ad series going on called like Waste Time. And I think this is a perfect watch to just put on and, well, you know, waste some time. You don't have to worry about it. You don't have to think about it. You don't have to overanalyze. It's just something that's gonna match any outfit that you have, that's easily customizable, and something that you can just enjoy. So I think that brings us into the last part. Well, almost last part. Let's talk about the so what. So what does the Weekender really offer? I really think this is the perfect starter watch for someone who's just getting into the hobby. Or it can be a reminder for watch collectors who've gotten too far of why they started. It definitely is not gonna be like your last watch or your grow watch, but it might be the one that tugs at your heart years later. Not because it's expensive, but because you can just really put some memories into it without thinking about it. I think this could be also a phenomenal watch if you have someone that you're trying to get into the hobby, that you're trying to get them into collecting. A Weekender is a great one. It's super affordable, so there's really no risk, but it's also something that they can see the customization of it and just kind of have some fun with it. So that's the so what, and that brings us to the recommendation scale. Here on Wrist and Wound, we have a scale that talks about if you should or shouldn't buy a watch. And I'm gonna give this watch a 5. It's a standout. It's not flawless, but it's emotionally unforgettable, especially for the price. So, you know, if you got some money laying around, it's only a couple bucks, you know, a gallon of gas, I'd definitely pick one up just to try it. In worst case, you can gift it to someone else. So, after the review, do you think this watch is for you? If you're thinking about picking one up, there is an affiliate link in the description. And when you buy from that, it doesn't cost you anything extra, but it definitely helps out the channel. And if you've made it this far into the video and you haven't hit subscribe, that means you're probably a part of the 90% of people who watch the videos but don't subscribe. So, change that. And when you hit the button, it actually changes colors. But anyway, for everything, there's a season, and for every watch, a story. Thanks for sharing this one with me. God bless, and I'll see you next time. Peace.